So, John, talk about how you got involved into this charity golf tournament thing you're doing.
Well, this started many, many years ago with my association with Childhelp. I've been their celebrity ambassador for many, many years. It's one of the greatest institutions in America. These are two women that back in the 1950s, they were on the Ozzie and Harriet show, and they were doing a USO tour through Korea, and happened to notice 10 kids. The oldest was 10, the youngest was an infant, and they were huddled in the rain, waving to anybody for help. This was on their way to the airport. They stopped, they helped the kids, and what they realized is these were the kids that were being left behind because they were fathered by American servicemen and they were being shunned in society there in Korea. So this was something that they realized that they had to do. Now, if you cut ahead to over 50 years later, these two women have saved more than 10 million kids through their organization called Childhelp. And it's the most extraordinary organization that I've been involved with, both in the prevention, but also the education about child abuse as well. So this was the background that I joined Childhelp with. As you can imagine, very difficult to raise money in the past year because of the pandemic. Also, we don't know how many incidents of child abuse there have been because kids were locked down with their abusers. So we have no way of knowing. They didn't go to school. And in many cases, teachers are the ones who interlace and interact with the children to find out and discover if there's been an act of child abuse. So we don't know anyway. They are left with an enormous need for funds. So we thought we'd try something different this year and do something global in its reach. And we're going to use the internet as a way of raising funds in something fun and innocuous that anybody can do, and that's play a round of golf virtually. So as long as you can use your forefinger, you can play the game. And it basically is going to happen August 2nd through August 8th on Ultimate Golf app. So if you go to the Ultimate Golf app on your app store, Apple Apps is behind this now. They're helping us promote it. And it's gone from 100,000 to 100 million people that will be exposed to this charity over the following week. So it's going to be extraordinary. You'll have an opportunity to download the Childhelp golf ball, which for $5 will go 20% farther. So who wouldn't want that on a golf course? You'll be a Tiger Woods immediately. So this is going to be a lot of fun, August 2nd through August 8th. You'll join me and a lot of my celebrity friends, Alice Cooper, Guy Fieri, the quarterbacks, Joe Theismann, Steve Young. It's quite a group that we've assembled there. And you're going to try and match their score or better it and win some wonderful prizes online.
You know, it really is. You hit the nail right on the head. My wife works in education. She says the same thing. When schools shut down, teachers and faculty they can't see what's happening to these kids at home because they're not seeing them at all, only virtually. And it's been a very tough year for just child abuse cases overall have been not reported as often because of that. And that's really difficult.
And I'll tell you, the numbers are just staggering. Even in a otherwise normal year in the United States, there are enough child abuse cases to fill 10 football stadiums, almost a million cases of child abuse every year. And yet we are the most civilized generation and country in the world.
Now, this is your first time working with some type of video game to kind of promote and raise awareness for your charity. You've never done this
It is.
before.
No, this is going to be a very interesting template. And this is why I wanted to do this and put full force behind it, because I honestly believe that if we're successful with this, rather than looking to wealthy donors to buy golf teams for $20,000, we're looking for individuals to spend $5 for a golf ball and play a fun game. But because of the law of large number, remember, we'll have a reach of 100 million people thanks to Apple Apps. We really believe that these numbers could possibly be extraordinary.
Did your charity reach out to like other charities like Extra Life to ask some advice or maybe look at some tips on how to do a virtual event revolving around video games?
No, this is the group that brought this to us is actually a Toronto group called Impact Solutions with an Impact. I've worked with them many, many times. I think they're the most innovative fundraisers in the world. And they brought this to me at a time when we needed it the most because we weren't able to raise adequate funds for Childhelp. And they're all of the programs that they run and the two shelters that they run here, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast.
Have you did you ever play any video games growing up at all? Like any Nintendo, Super Nintendo games in your spare time?
You're going to laugh at this, but um, the what's the game where you're eating little people as they go along
Pac-Man.
like that? Pac-Man. Well, I'm sorry, we needed that in the form of a question. What is Pac-Man? Anyway, um, th- I I was miserable at that game, and you know why? I hate being chased. I hate being chased, and that game just oh my goodness, I couldn't play that game for the life of me.
Is it impressive to see how much technology has changed and evolved over these last like 30 years just in gaming or
I
in technology alone?
I am bewildered by it. I have a 14-year-old son who is quite the gamer. In fact, he has his own YouTube channel now for people to watch him game, and he's quite proficient. But I am just amazed at the um, just at the acumen, just the intellectual quality of the games now. It's really, I mean, even something like Minecraft, where you're building these incredible cities, Fortnite, I mean, I'm absolutely amazed at the technology behind these games now and how entertaining and captivating it is for kids. And I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think it's a good thing. People say, "Oh, your kids shouldn't be playing video games. They should be out, running around." And but I think there's certainly, moderation is good. But I like the idea that kids are problem solving in these games. I like the idea that they go into the game thinking that they can be a winner. So it's a positive attitude. It's a wonderful. I think it's a wonderful spirit motivator. And so I'm not as anti-game as a lot of people my age might be.
Well, I mean, a lot of people said the same thing when radio first came out, when television first came out, like people were
Yeah.
glued to their radio
And
speakers or the yeah.
those damn Beatles.
And those damn Beatles, they're ruining youth in America.
They ruined it.
What does it open up for your charity? Because like you mentioned before, a lot of the stuff is locally, but games are an international like thing, like across the world,
It
and
did.
it translates
I
to
mean,
different languages.
it's a very good point. I mean, think about the opportunity that we have thanks to Apple apps, to do this globally. So if you care about child abuse and want to take a stand against it, you can put up $5, whether you're living in the Philippines, whether you're living in Australia, whether you're living in South Africa, or whether you're in downtown, downtown New York. It doesn't matter where you are. It's up to you to take a stand, and you can donate. Gives you
Speaking
a
to,
chance to participate.
yeah, and speaking of that, like you said, Ultimate Golf has millions of players that play on their phones. You're playing games on the phones now with an international reach audience on top of that, so it just gives you so much more room to expand, and as opposed to just having like a big gala at a location in the United States, now you can be everywhere essentially.
Without the cost, and that's one of the things that I find so compelling about this, is that we can reach a lot of people with the message of child help, but we can also do it inexpensively. So that we're not bearing up all of the costs that are necessary sometimes with these boots on the ground fundraisers.
Now, are you any good at Ultimate Golf personally? Have you played much of it?
I'm not too bad. I found the putting. I finally found the trick to the putting, and I won't reveal it. But I did pretty well. I was very impressed. But we have some, Annika Sorenstam is going to be playing, the world's best female golfer. Peter Jacobson, one of the great players ever on the PGA Tour and golf's great ambassador, he'll be playing along. So, we have great golfers that are playing. Be very interesting to see how well they do.
Have you ever played any VR games before with the VR headset? A lot of people, there's some golf games in that, and people think it's really realistic, and some people think it can train you to be a better golfer.
Well, we have, thanks to my son, he's brought all of this technology into our house. Yeah, I have played it. I think it's good, but I even like the old Wii games. I find them very compelling too. We actually bought on eBay an old Wii set and installed it at our summer home in Vermont, and we had a hell of a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, so like your son is the ambassador to technology in your household, it sounds like.
Oh, listen, he just it's amazing how he's been able to just pick up everything. There's nothing in our house technologically that he can't do.
Is your son a big golfer out of curiosity, or is he any good at
He is
it, or?
quite a good golfer. Well, mommy's a great golfer as well. She's the club champ here, and she played number one for her team at Baylor many years ago in college. I've been, golf is my game. I'm a single digit, so my son has grown up around golf and realizes that he's not going to escape this household without learning.
Do you think we'll eventually reach to the point where video games will get so realistic and like fit and like just so realistic that you won't have to go golfing physically anymore? You can just put on a headset and a pair of gloves and actually walk around a golf course virtually.
Well, I hope not. I mean, it certainly has its place, but golf is the best use of God's green earth. The golf course is always the best place. Then they build the hotel, and then they build the tennis courts. The golf course really, the topography of golf course design is like a national park. And I hope the game never moves to. I hope the game of golf grows and grows and grows because it is the greatest game there is.
What do you think's the biggest misconception for someone who doesn't know a lot about the sport of golfing that people outside looking inside don't understand or misconstrued?
Well, I think a lot of people think you have to have a lot of strength, and it's the exact opposite. It's all timing. It's all timing. It's turning the body into a machine and trying to stay as still as you can while you create a rotational a vehicle of the body and just trying to hit a golf ball. And that golf ball's sitting nice and still. It's not moving on you.
So, John, where can people go to find more information about your charity and this event? And most importantly, what can they do to support it? You mentioned the $5 golf ball to make your ball grow farther, and who wouldn't want that before?
Mm. Okay, so from August 2nd to August 8th, download the Ultimate Golf app on your app store, and then play along. You'll see how you upload the Childhelp golf package, and you pay as much as you want or as little as you want. But you will be helping Childhelp in an extraordinary way. If you want to learn more about what the work that Childhelp does, you simply go to childhelp.org, and you'll see an absolutely amazing organization. Those two women, by the way, that started this back in the 1950s, have been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 9 times.